Now my hairi mai, Céad Míle Fáilte, to Cora Correro in conversation with Eddie Condra. So Eddie, using your book, Remapping Our Souls as a guide, we'll explore some of the concepts. You've written that the freedom to choose our sacred realities and ultimately to make of our lives what we will sets the existential panic buttons off in all of us. So that's a big statement. And why is this so, and why did you write that?
The
freedom to
the
choose.
existential panic button is just a nice phrase, isn't it? It's pretty posh. It just means the existential panic button is living in this world, okay? And in my understanding and my observation of people, there are a few key issues that are core down at the bottom. Now, I've picked these up from an American existential psychotherapist who claims that when he goes through counseling, there are 4 key issues. One of them is the apparent meaninglessness of life. 2 is our ultimate aloneness. 3 is our ability to choose for ourselves, which is this particular one that you're talking about. And the 4th one, I can't remember now, but all existential issues, like these are existential issues, these are life issues that are down at the very core of our being. So the notion that you can choose your life becomes an enormous burden, overwhelming, because, I could get it wrong. How do I know? Who do I think I am? And so that the conflicts in your life very often have tentacles that go back down into them. So when you leave people, particularly religious people, when you start to take authority away and the directives that are supposed to guide their lives, it frightens people, because now I've got to decide for myself. The amazing reality is that's what we're doing all the time. Even if we're deciding, we do want somebody to tell us what to do. And we also want to live in a world where I don't like them telling me what to do. But actually, when they stop telling you what to do and say, go ahead, do your own thing, they don't like that either. It's fearful. In my 50 years as a priest, I've concluded one of the biggest fears is we're afraid to be ourselves. Just to be a human being, which is in part to be powerless, to know I can't do anything, I can't change people's minds, I can't do this. I see it quite a bit with parents whose children are growing and becoming adults, and they say, I can see them just going down the wrong track, but there's nothing I can do. That's a scary experience. We like to think we can, have control. Does that go close to answering it?
Thank you. And this then is a follow-on. Questioning, you've said, is not a mark of disrespect, but an act of personal responsibility. I think you wrote that in relation to probably within the church setting. Yeah. But questioning is not a mark of disrespect, but an act of personal responsibility. Yeah. Do you want to expand on that?
Well, I grew up in a church where you don't question. You're told, and this is what you believe, because this is how it is. And so asking questions was rude, impertinent, and wrong. And lots of times we're told, well, that's what you're supposed to believe. And to do that, you'd have to suspend your mind, your rational thinking. Okay, what I'm saying is now if you listen carefully to people's questions, it's an active person response. I can't believe this. This doesn't make any sense to me. And now please listen to my question. And it's an attempt to resolve issues for themselves. Now, it doesn't always come out like that, because when people are in pain, they don't ask questions in that polite way. They'll tell you this whole thing is a load of rubbish. You know, well, can't believe anybody would believe that, and blah, blah, blah. But underneath that is an attempt to resolve their own challenge.
This is a positive, kind of hopeful message, but does it allay or increase people's fear? You know, this idea of personal responsibility. Do you think, how do you allay people, particularly in the Christian world or the Catholic world?
Well, you see, the irony of it is, people say, you're just doing your own thing and you're suiting yourself, and doing your own thing and suiting yourself. The reality is, we all do that. There is nobody under the sun who isn't doing their own thing and, suiting themselves. People who say, I've met people in marriages, I can't leave, I couldn't leave, and I'm just staying. Actually, you prefer to stay in that painful relationship than to leave. There's something in there better in the staying than in the leaving.